everyone, and welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm making an author backlist for the author Freida McFadden. For the month of May, my IRL book club is reading a Freida McFadden book. It is her latest release, which is The Tenant, and I'm nearly done. And I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but I am trying to make my way through all of her books. I find them to be super engaging, super easy to read, and so yeah, here I am just making a little spread for her. Did y'all know that Freida McFadden is actually a pen name? I just found that out and I was so shook. The author, she's actually a physician, she's a doctor, and she works with brain injuries. I was so shook. Homegirl just writes books on this side. Where does she find the time to do that? I do not know. But yeah, her backlist is actually pretty long. Whenever I opened The Tenant, which is the book that I'm currently reading, it mentions all of her works, and I was so shook by how long the list is. And so I figured, okay, I think I need 2 pages for this spread. So I did cut out 2 sticky notes so that I could list all of her books. And I have this really cute envelope that I figured I could use to kind of like draw out book titles and figure out what the next book that I'm going to read is. So I just wanted to include the envelope in some sort of way. So I think that is like the best way to like have fun with it, and then also just have something super cute. I really love having like something folding out on my journal, or like an envelope, or just something that's more like engaging whenever you open up the spread. Freida McFadden books are typically thriller. I don't know if all of her books are thriller, because I did read one that is not a thriller, and I believe that was her first book, The Devil Wears Scrubs. I really wanted to find like thriller-esque stickers to go along with it, but I actually don't have any. So I was looking through my collection and I found these like really cozy stickers, and I think that's kind of like the vibe whenever I read Freida McFadden. I'm just sitting down, cozied up with a blanket. Usually my husband is playing video games in the background, and I'm just reading my Freida McFadden book. And her books are very like one sitting worthy, meaning her books really are readable like in one sitting. They're so engaging, they're plot heavy, and they're also character heavy too. She just keeps you on the tip of your toes, and I feel like her chapters are very like short as well, which in my personal opinion I prefer, because it makes it like a faster read. And she has these kind of like cliffhangers at the end of every chapter that just pushes you to read more. So that's kind of like the vibe that I was going for here. I wrote down one of her quotes. I'm not sure which book it's from, but it says, "After all, there's nothing that binds two people like a shared secret." And it really reminded me of the one quote from Pretty Little Liars, "The two can keep a secret if one of them is dead," which I believe is also a quote in one of her books. And so I did write down the titles that I have not read so far. Y'all, I don't know why I was struggling cutting these. but I was. But here I'm just basically cutting them, and I am going to be folding them in half to put in the little envelope. There's so many books and it's so hard to pick from so many, so if I ever don't know what to read, I'll just pull a little tab and see where I can get the book, whether that's from Libby or the library. They're very accessible. And then I also went in and put a little check mark by the books that I have read. I could have sworn I've read more, but I guess I've only read, how many is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books. I could have sworn I've read at least like 8 or 10. But soon enough I will read The Tenant as well, which is at the very top, and just adding some final details. And here is a final look. I loved this spread so much. I loved how cozy it is, loved the warmthness of it. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video as much as I've enjoyed making it, and I will see you in my next one.